Ladies and gentlemen, it was very, very heated in the French Parliament on the 17th of June 2025. In the French Parliament, deputies, French elected officials, stood up against Emmanuel Macron's position regarding the Iran-Israel issue. From this, we can easily understand that there are French people who understand the world, who understand the law. There are still French people who support the effective application of international law. Because Emmanuel Macron, in his position, uses a kind of legal doctrine to justify Israel's action against Iran. However, this is a false doctrine. It is a false legal argument. To the legal experts present, all my respect, my utmost respect, and you will elaborate even further in the comments to help others understand. So, this is a major setback for Emmanuel Macron. What he just experienced in the French Parliament is a setback. Yes, this is not just simple opposition. It's almost as if there was humiliation involved. Let's dive deeper, ladies and gentlemen. France, which is portrayed as a supposedly democratic country, as a nation that respects human values, especially the universal values of human rights, now finds itself at the center of a situation where it is encouraging the aggression of another country on the grounds that this country is acting aggressively in self-defense. So, it's supposedly preventive. Let's go deeper. First, give a like, share the video conference as much as possible, and leave a comment with your feedback. If you're new here, please subscribe. And to all the new people there, and nearly 25,000 of you now, the newcomers who have just arrived, if you were able to discover this wonderful platform that you love so much, it's because others have shared it. So now it's your turn to share as well. Allow others to subscribe. We need to reach 1 million subscribers quickly. Let's go deeper. Some French parliamentarians have criticized Emmanuel Macron's stance on his support for Israel. According to international law, there is no such thing as a preemptive strike. The word has been spoken. The word used by Emmanuel Macron, the concept that Emmanuel Macron uses, is that he says Israel carried out a preemptive strike. He still acknowledges in his explanation that it was Israel who attacked. But Israel attacked as a preventive measure. So what does that actually mean? For those who might not really understand, it means that Israel launched strikes on Iran to prevent Iran from striking first, because Israel suspects Iran, which is currently not suspects, but Israel observes that Iran is in the process of developing nuclear capabilities. So it needs to be struck, because for Israel, Iran is developing this in order to be able to attack Israel. So before Iran attacks, they will attack first. That's what a preventive strike is. French lawmakers say that this does not exist in international law. No, it doesn't exist. And for all those who are legal experts, specialists in international law, I know there are many of you here. You can share your opinions in the comments and explain in detail so that our friends can understand. So they say that according to international law, there is no such thing as a preventive attack. You cannot attack a country as a preventive measure. If you attack a country as a preventive measure, it means that regardless of the justification, you have already attacked. You are already the aggressor. That is very clear. And this is what Emmanuel Macron refuses to acknowledge. Well, it must be said that this is happening at a time when Emmanuel Macron is trying to wash his hands of this affair. He is in the process of changing his position. So they say that you cannot attack a country as a preventive measure. International law does not recognize a preventive attack, and as a result, Israel is currently aggressing Iran. That is what is being said. That's what the deputies are saying. And search through all of international law. Show me an article from any international convention that provides for preventive attack. It doesn't exist. If that did exist, we would now be in the jungle, where everyone does whatever they please. So, according to French deputies, some French deputies, not all of them, they say that Israel is positioning itself as the aggressor. And Emmanuel Macron and the allies have violated international law. This is what they are saying. So this is a denunciation by the French parliamentarians. Yes, they do not agree. And their main criticism, which is based on the idea that international law does not recognize the concept of a preventive attack, right? This criticism is justified. It is justified. Even according to the norm, international law is also based on the logic of common sense. According to the norm, logic, common sense, you can't just get up. You see someone acting, you spray them, you give them a good slap on the grounds that no. When you're asked, you say no. I know that in his mind, he wants to slap me. So before he slaps me, I slap him. Where is the reason? Where is the logic? And that's what many people are not understanding. Some people think that, well, it's a religious support movement, etc., etc. Since the world is now made in such a way that everyone supports their own side, whether your side is right or not, you support your side. Unfortunately, that's the sad reality we are facing, especially in African countries. So, what does the principle of international law say? According to parliamentarians, the absence of recognition of preemptive attack in international law would mean that any military action carried out under this pretext would constitute an act of aggression. They believe that Israel, by taking this stance, would be acting as an aggressor state against Iran, and that the support of Emmanuel Macron and his allies, as mentioned, clearly constitutes a violation of international law. So, how can we understand that a country whose reputation for respecting international law extends beyond its own borders would allow itself to be tarnished like this by openly supporting the violation of international law? What then is the significance of the existence of international law? What is its importance? So, it is in the French parliament that this denunciation is being made. Therefore, the world should understand. France should understand. France's other allies should understand. And you Africans, you must understand that we live in a world where might makes right. All the theories about this or that, right, they simply do not exist. Rights exist only in words. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the top story in international news. Thank you for sharing it as much as possible. I will be back with you shortly, by the grace of Almighty God, with new information. This was the voice of your one and only Samurai.